Chapter 170 Injury, Death. A human heart. The dragon carving pillar was a vicious tool. The spikes didn't pierce out instantly. Rather, they poked out slowly, penetrating one's skin bit by bit. It was a torture tool designed to prolong the victim's suffering. However, they didn't hear Huo Yuao screaming. A layer of golden red light shot out from Huo Yuao's body the moment the spikes touched him. The spikes were stopped and prevented from piercing his skin. The sudden appearance of the golden red light caused the royal stewards to be shocked. They unleashed their martial souls immediately. Impossible. How can he still use a soul skill even after he's been cuffed by the dragon binding seal? Wait, it's a soul tool. Second brother revealed an appalled look on his face. Although he wasn't a soul engineer, he was still familiar with soul tools since he was a member of the Sun Moon Empire's imperial family. The dragon binding seal was very effective in restraining a soul master. If Huo Yuao was able to activate his soul tool even though his soul power was restrained by the dragon binding seal, this meant that his soul tool's class was higher than the dragon binding seal. The dragon binding seal was already a class 6 soul tool. What class was Huo Yuao's defensive soul tool? Even at this point, these arrogant royal stewards didn't realize anything was amiss. Their eyes brightened, and greed started to fill them. Even if Huo Yuao only possessed a class 7 defensive soul tool, it would be worth a huge price on the market. If they divided the money, they would still benefit greatly. While they were royal stewards, their salary wasn't that high. In addition, they weren't direct descendants of the imperial family, which made their statuses very awkward in the imperial city. They obtained all their money through ill-gotten gains as royal stewards. You still dare to resist? Second brother snorted. Even if your defensive soul tool is superior than the dragon binding seal in terms of class, your soul power is limited. I want to see how long you can hold on. When your soul power is depleted, the spikes will pierce through your body forcefully. You'll be torn apart instantly. Huo Yuao sighed in his heart. One could be spared because of heaven's misdoings, but one couldn't live because of his own sins. Huo Yuao didn't want to cause any trouble, but they were too underhanded. If he allowed them to torture him, he might not survive until help arrived. It seemed like he had to take care of them first. Huo Yuao's eyes had already turned golden as he pondered in his mind. As a spiritual type soul master, how could he be so easily controlled by others? Hing Chen's blessing completely restrained the dragon binding seal. This meant that this class 6 soul tool could restrict him even less. Furthermore, the main skills of his spirit eyes were realized through spiritual power. In this way, it was completely possible for him to use the soul skills of his spirit eyes. It was even easier for him to break free from the dragon carving pillar. Huo Yuao unleashed his immense physical strength. He couldn't allow his soul power to continue depleting. With the imitation skill, the royal stewards couldn't tell that Huo Yuao's soul rings were shining. His 4th soul ring had already lit up now. Just as he was about to use the spiritual confusion to create an opportunity for himself, the golden light in his eyes disappeared. Even the golden red light barrier around him was retracted. He groaned, and the spikes pierced through his body. Blood splattered immediately. Not only this, but Huo Yuao's struggle caused the healing wounds on his back to tear apart once again. He was instantly covered in blood. Second brother was stunned for a moment, while old four couldn't help but laugh out loud. I thought you were very tough. It seems like you're as useless as we initially thought you were. We've done you in. Huo Yuao tolerated the intense pain that came from his back. There was a look of jocularity in his eyes right now. Who's going to stop me? A deep, furious roar sounded at this point, causing the entire place to shake from the echoes. The few people in the interrogation room were stunned. Following this, a loud boom sounded, and the door was kicked open. The gloomy-looking Jing Hingchen barged in with Lin Jie. When Jing Hingchen saw Huo Yuao, his pupils shrank. Old fellow, who do you think you are? How dare you cause trouble here? Old four was too arrogant, and didn't bother to think about who it was that had just barged in. However, Jing Hingchen's eyes were already filled with killing intent before he had even finished speaking. He made a pulling motion with his right hand, and a powerful suction force dragged old four over. Seeing that things weren't going right, second brother leapt towards Jing Hingchen along with the other royal stewards. Scram! Jing Hingchen roared, and a gust of milky white gas blew the 5 of them away. His 9 soul rings also appeared at this point. Titled Douluo. Second brother exclaimed. Although he was in physical pain, as he hit a corner of the wall, he was more affected by the shock that he had just experienced. The Sun Moon Empire couldn't compare to the Dalu Empire in terms of the quantity of their titled Douluo. Titled Douluo were highly regarded in every empire. No matter how arrogant the royal stewards were, they didn't dare to offend a titled Douluo. Lin Jie had rushed to Huo Yuao by now and stopped the dragon carving pillar immediately. He was shocked as he saw Huo Yuao's bloody body. He quickly retrieved a small white jade vase from his storage type soul tool. After a moment of hesitation, he took out an azure green pill and stuffed it into Huo Yuao's mouth. After that, he released Huo Yuao from the dragon carving pillar. Jing Hingchen furrowed his brow. If their statuses were different, he would have killed them all. However, they were royal stewards and had close ties with the imperial family. He couldn't go all out against them. He took up a few steps towards Huo Yuao and asked, "How are you?" Huo Yuao looked a little pale, but his calm demeanor left Jing Hingchen uncomfortable. Jing Hingchen wished he would kick up a fuss. A chill rose in Jing Hingchen's heart as he watched Huo Yuao. I just didn't think that the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy would be unable to protect its own students. While Huo Yuao didn't sound very forceful, his words struck right at Jing Hingchen's heart. Jing Hingchen's wrath was stirred, and he unwittingly clenched his fist tightly. His obstinate and self-opinionated personality had always been his weak point. This wasn't a conclusion derived by Huo Yuao. Rather, this was the verdict of Shrek Academy after they had studied him for years. Let's return before we speak. The Academy will give you a satisfactory explanation regarding this matter. Jing Hingchen suppressed his fury before turning away. Lin Jie hurriedly slung Huo Yuao's arm over his shoulder and led him out of the interrogation room. The pill Lin Jie had fed Huo Yuao was indeed extraordinary. A warm feeling quickly engulfed Huo Yuao's entire body. He could clearly sense the reduction in pain as the warmth circulated his body. The wounds that were bleeding quickly healed, and even his soul power was restored. However, a voice sounded from outside before Jing Hingchen could walk out of the interrogation room. The Crown Prince arrives. Jing Hingchen was stunned. He was confused as he stopped in his tracks. Although he wasn't involved in court politics, he was still aware of the prince's powers. The royal stewards went under the Crown Prince, but were supported by the third prince. The prince that controlled the imperial clan, who was also Shu Mochen's father, was the third prince's strongest supporter. Go back into the interrogation room. Shu Tianran said slowly. Greetings to your highness. Shu Mochen couldn't remain silent anymore. Shu Mochen knew that things had gone wrong when Jing Hingchen had barged in. How could he not recognize the hallmaster of the illustrious Virtue Hall? Huo Yuao didn't exaggerate his importance. Shu Mochen could roughly guess what it meant for Jing Hingchen to come here personally. However, he didn't reveal himself. He didn't enter the interrogation room because he wanted to leave a way out for himself. Jing Hingchen had come too suddenly, and he couldn't count on his subordinates to have recorded anything substantial. He just hoped that Huo Yuao wasn't harmed too badly. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome for him. He was just going to act like he was ignorant. Without enough of a handle on him, Jing Hingchen couldn't touch him easily. After all, he believed he was standing on the side of reason, but he knew that the Crown Prince Shu Tianran would arrive before Jing Hingchen had even left. He could ignore Jing Hingchen, but he definitely couldn't ignore Shu Tianran. Shu Tianran looked at Shu Mochen with a gentle gaze in his eyes and said, "Mochen, rise. We're all from the same family. You don't have to be so ceremonious. I heard from Juzi that you arrested her classmate. Can you give me some face and let him go?" Shu Mochen would never underestimate Shu Tianran because he was being so courteous. On the contrary, he was aware of Shu Tianran's methods. When the second prince had tried to assassinate Shu Tianran, he had failed, and only left him with a disability. After Shu Tianran returned, he erupted in fury after enduring for a while. He had captured the second prince and his charges in one fell swoop. Eventually, the second prince had died a horrible death, and Shu Tianran reaffirmed his position as the crown prince even though he was disabled. This showed how frightening Shu Tianran was. It won't be a problem. Shu Mochen wasn't qualified to bicker with Shu Tianran. Even his master, the third prince, wouldn't dare to do so. Unless his father was around, Shu Tianran would never bow down to anyone. Shu Mochen was cursing Wang Xiaode in his heart now. Not only did the arrest attract the attention of the hallmaster of the illustrious Virtue Hall, it drove the crown prince to pay a visit in person. This wasn't looking likely to be resolved easily. The door of the interrogation room opened. A gloomy-looking Jing Hingchen walked out, with Lin Jie and Huo Yuao following behind him. When Juzi saw Huo Yuao covered in blood. Her footsteps stiffened slightly and her expression tensed up. However, she tried her best to restrain her emotions. She understood Shu Tianran. If she came off as overly passionate towards Hua Yuao, then Hua Yuao was likely to get in trouble. Juzi was more than well aware that in Shu Tianran's mind, she belonged to him. Greetings to your highness, Jing Hingchen called out, but only nodded his head. What was his status? In the Sun Moon Empire, he was equivalent to a grand advisor. Even the current emperor treated him with respect, and wouldn't demand that he stick to formalities. Shu Tianran bowed slightly seated in his wheelchair. Greetings, Hallmaster. I'm disabled, and it's slightly inconvenient for me to fully pay my respects. Please forgive me for this. Jing Hingchen didn't expect Shu Tianran to be so formal. He knew a little about Shu Tianran, and regarded him very highly. Not only was he ambitious, but he had ways to get things done too. If he succeeded the throne, he was bound to bring prosperity to the Sun Moon Empire. However, a surprise attack left the crown prince disabled. This made Jing Hingchen a little hesitant. Even with his prominent position in the Sun Moon Empire, the price to pay for supporting the wrong side was very hefty. That was why he decided to watch from the sidelines. Whoever succeeded the throne in the end would need his support regardless. All he needed to do was wait. Crown Prince, you don't have to be so ceremonious. Jing Hingchen gestured. Shu Tianran was concerned as he looked at Hua Yuao. He said, Hallmaster, I heard from Juzi that her classmate was arrested by the royal stewards, which was why I rushed over. The royal stewards have become too brazen. They even dare to arrest a student from the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. From your expression, I can tell that they didn't even inform you before doing so. Although Shu Tianran's words sounded very peaceful, they caused Shu Mochen to curse in his heart. The back of his shirt was drenched in perspiration from stress. Jing Hingchen had already been provoked once by Hua Yuao earlier. Now hearing the Crown Prince's words, his expression turned even gloomier. He answered coldly, You're right. No one seems to respect the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy nowadays. Your Highness, I shouldn't comment on such matters since I don't belong in the Imperial Palace. However, I think that there might be an overdue reorganization of the royal stewards in order. While he was speaking, second brother, Old Four and the rest had walked out from the interrogation room. When they saw Shu Tianran and listened to how he addressed Jing Hingchen, they realized that they were in big trouble. They didn't dare to speak out, just from the sheer terror. Shu Tianran nodded his head slightly. Hallmaster, I've not been strict enough on them. I'll give you an answer for this now. As he spoke, he pointed at second brother and the rest. Then he said, Kill them. Two very simple words, but they carried a strong murderous intent and aura. A figure appeared from behind Shu Tianran. It rushed towards second brother and the others like a spectre. Even Jing Hingchen flinched at the strong killing intent being exuded. In the next moment, that figure had already returned behind Shu Tianran. The figure belonged to a very feeble-seeming elder. He only wore the standard attire of a palace attendant. Initially no one had noticed him. His thin figure looked as if he could collapse at any time. Bang, 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 bang. 5 groans sounded, starting from second brother. 1 soul emperor and 4 soul kings collapsed. A stream of blood flowing from each of their foreheads, like their foreheads had been struck. Shadow Douluo, Shui Chen? Jing Hingchen was stunned as he looked towards the feeble elder in disbelief. Shu Mochen was stunned as well. He didn't expect that the crown prince was so merciless. Before giving him a chance to explain, his 5 competent subordinates were killed. It's important to know that soul kings were crucial to an empire. It wasn't a small matter to kill 5 of them in one go, as it was likely to cause a commotion in the imperial court. But this crown prince did it like it was nothing. A chill ran down Shu Mochen's spine. In addition, he only now found out that there was a title Douluo under the crown prince. The elder slowly lifted his head and smiled at Jing Hingchen. Hallmaster, it's been a while. I didn't expect that you would remember me. Jing Hingchen's shock had already disappeared by then. He smiled and replied, How can I not remember you? When you became a title Douluo, I was still stagnant at the soul Douluo level. I didn't expect that after more than 10 years you'd enter the imperial city. Shui Chen answered him. This is not the place to speak. I'll pay you a visit when we return. We can catch up then. After he finished speaking, he lowered his head behind Shu Tianran again. He looked just like a loyal servant. The ground was long since stained red with fresh blood. However, Shu Tianran didn't even glance at the mess. He smiled at Jing Hingchen. Hallmaster, are you satisfied with this answer? Jing Hingchen furrowed his brow and bowed to him slightly. He said, This is an internal matter. I don't dare to comment. My student is gravely injured, so if your highness has no other instructions for me, I shall return first. Shu Tianran nodded his head slightly and said, Please do, Hallmaster. In my eyes, you'll always be a respected elder. You don't have to be so formal with me. Jing Hingchen nodded and walked out. Lin Jai followed behind him, supporting Hua Yuao. Shu Tianran turned his head to look at Shu Mochen now. He said, Mochen, at times, you will have to pay the price for standing on the wrong side. Please tell uncle that. Let's go. After he finished, he gestured behind him, and Juzi immediately pushed his wheelchair to the exit. His servants followed. After what Shui Chen had done earlier, who dared to underestimate the servants of Shu Tianran, Juzi heaved a sigh of relief. Although Hua Yuao's grave injuries broke her heart, given Jing Hingchen's reaction, she reckoned that he should be fine. Jing Hingchen would have gone berserk if Hua Yuao had died at the hands of the royal stewards. No one in the Sun Moon Empire would have been able to stop him. Not that anyone was likely to interfere in this matter. However, Juzi was secretly impressed with the crown prince. He'd settled the matter decisively, and exploited Jing Hingchen's presence to get rid of 5 competent cronies under the third prince. He even dealt a harsh blow to Shu Mochen. He sold Jing Hingchen a favor and dragged him into the situation. It didn't matter whether Jing Hingchen admitted or denied anything. Things would still sound the same when this matter spread. Everyone would believe that the crown prince had killed a few people because he wanted to appease the hallmaster of the illustrious virtue hall. Juzi was relieved that Shu Tianran didn't pay too much attention to Hua Yuao. It might have been because of his injuries, but this was what Juzi wanted. Otherwise, Hua Yuao might be at risk in the Sun Moon Empire. Hua Yuao was clear-headed throughout the whole ordeal. He had stopped using Hingchen's blessing because he could sense Jing Hingchen coming. He made a judgment call in that instant, considering his options. Right now, there was no one to prove that he'd done some tampering on his own. What was this level of physical pain to him anyway? With the life scroll protection, he didn't perish even with those injuries in the Jingyang mountain range. These bodily injuries were nothing to him. They may seem horrible, but they really weren't that serious. He would only need a day or two to recover. However, this matter wouldn't be resolved so easily. Jing Hingchen had to give him an explanation, since he was an exchange student and more importantly, the closed-door disciple of Elder Mu. Jing Hingchen was in low spirits now. He felt like he'd been set up. Of course, he thought this had nothing to do with Hua Yuao. It was the crown prince's trap. If not for the fact that he knew that the royal stewards went under the crown prince's management, he might have thought that all of this was a scheme set up by Shu Tianran, baiting him into this matter. He had no choice but to appear given Hua Yuao's importance to Shrek Academy, but he immediately ran into a conundrum after acting. Hua Yuao was fine. He hadn't sustained internal injuries even though he was mutilated on the outside, but Jing Hingchen was still dragged down. He was clearly aware of the crown prince's intentions. The third prince was the closest competitor to the crown prince, since he had the support of the prince that controlled the imperial clan. After this matter, the third prince was likely to have been angered even though he didn't dare say anything. What a Shu Tianran. It was no wonder that Jing Hingchen had regarded highly him in the past. Even while he was disabled, he remained a determined person. He didn't lose his sharpness due to his disability. Jing Hingchen turned back to look at Hua Yuao, and he became even more depressed. Hua Yuao was quite an actor, and Jing Hingchen still had to settle his matter. Even as the dean of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy and the hallmaster of the illustrious virtue hall, Jing Hingchen didn't think it was wise to use underhanded methods to deal this. However, it wasn't that easy to give a proper explanation either. Hua Yuao was soon sent to the academy's infirmary, and Jing Hingchen called for Fanu. Come to think of it, Fanu hadn't seen Hua Yuao for a long time. When he saw Hua Yuao lying on a bed in the infirmary covered in blood, his heart was about to jump out of his chest. He was dumbstruck, and his blood boiled. He was about to turn violent. Teacher Fanu, don't be agitated. Hua Yuao is fine. He's only sustained superficial wounds. Jai, explain the situation to Teacher Fanu, Jing Hingchen said gently. Fanu's eyes burned with fury and he interrupted. There's no need to explain anything. Hallmaster, I only want to ask you one thing. If Xiao Hingchen and Meng Hingchen were to sustain such injuries in Shrek Academy, how would you react? I won't say anymore. You should know what to do. After he finished speaking, he turned and left. He didn't even look at Hua Yuao again. Jing Hingchen was stunned as he watched Fanu walking away. He was puzzled. Fanu was leaving just like that. He didn't even bother to listen to an explanation or check up on Hua Yuao. What was going on? He didn't know that Huo Yua had used his spiritual detection to share what he thought with Fan Yu just as Fan Yu was about to erupt. Huo Yua also told Fan Yu that he was fine. Fan Yu's fury wasn't a pretense. However, he had already calmed down when he spoke to Jing Chen. Master, what do we do? Lin Jie asked anxiously. Jing Chen's expression was extremely grim now. It's all Wang Xiaojie's fault. How dare he lead an outsider to make an arrest in the academy? Expel him immediately, and kick him out of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. Lin Jie hesitated. But we don't have proof that he was the one who did it. Jing Chen was a little vulgar as he interrupted. Why do I need any proof to expel a student? Follow my instructions. Okay. Lin Jie was petrified. He was an intelligent person. Since he was able to become the teaching director, he could subtly sense something from Jing Chen's words. It seemed like Jing Chen had made a decision on the Empire's current situation. Huo Yua's wounds were quickly dealt with. When Jing Chen came to him, it was undeniable that Huo Yua was gravely injured. He didn't seem to be putting on a show. Jing Chen also didn't know that Huo Yua had torn the wounds on his back deliberately, which made him appear to be in a worse state. However, Huo Yua had controlled his soul power well, and only torn the skin on the surface of his wounds. His muscles had still managed to heal. Besides some loss of blood, he wasn't in much danger. The few healing-type soul masters from the academy helped him stitch his wounds, and used healing-type soul skills to aid his recovery. His injuries stabilized very quickly. How's his condition? Jing Chen asked the doctor. He's not too hurt. He just lost too much blood. It's just that I don't know what caused such injuries. It's very complicated, and it's impossible for it to have been inflicted by any type of weapon or tool that I know of. We gave him some medicine that boosts blood production. This young man is very fit. I think he'll recover within 10 to 15 days. Jing Chen nodded, and he couldn't help but think of what Fan Yu had said before he had left. If his grandchildren were in this state, what would he do? Wake him up. I have something to say to him. Jing Chen instructed. Yes. The doctor took out a small bottle and placed it under Huo Yua's nose. Huo Yua was already awake, but as he inhaled, a burning yet refreshing feeling surged through his nose. He was jolted completely awake. He sneezed before opening his eyes. Yua, I'm Jing Chen. Jing Chen stepped aside the bed where someone had already placed a chair for him. Right now, he wore a friendly look as he watched Huo Yua. Greetings, Hallmaster. Huo Yua's voice was a little hoarse, and he sounded slightly weak too. It was like he was out of breath. Jing Chen pondered for a moment before he said, I'm sorry for what happened today. The academy didn't do our job well to protect you. The perpetrators who arrested and tortured you have already been punished. The academy will also toughen up our management, and will not let anyone harm you again. I hope that you can forgive us. I extend my apologies to you on behalf of the academy. What a man. No wonder Elder Mu always commented that he was an adaptable person, though he was one who had a hot temper. Huo Yua shook his head slightly and said, Master, you're not the one who harmed me. You don't have to apologize for this. In addition, the mastermind of the perpetrators was the one who appeared outside the interrogation room after the incident. He instructed those five guys to torture me. I didn't expect this to happen either. With the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy's current status, I didn't think that anyone would be brazen enough to arrest someone in the academy. My injuries are nothing. They're nothing for a soul master like me. However, I hope to learn something from this exchange. I've been in the academy for some time, but I've learned nothing apart from some basic theories. I'll lose more time because of this delay. Jing Chen was secretly hateful. Huo Yua might be young, but he was scheming. He was using words to corner Jing Chen. However, Jing Chen had no choice but to bear it if he wanted his grandchildren to be safe at Shrek Academy. After pondering for a moment, Jing Chen said, the captain of the royal stewards, Shu Mochen, is the son of a prince in the imperial clan. I have no authority over him, but I'll make him apologize to you personally. The academy has to bear some of the responsibility for this incident too. From now onwards, you can bring back all the materials you used for creating soul tools from the academy. However, this doesn't include blueprints or formation arrays. You don't have to be tested either. When you recover, ask Sun Zwen to bring you into the illustrious Virtue Hall. This will help you in your progress and increase your knowledge. Although Elder Mu has passed away, he's always been the elder that I've respected the most. If anyone dares to provoke you in the academy, you must tell me. Huo Yua revealed a look of gratitude as he realized that his target was about to be fulfilled. Thank you, Hallmaster, for granting me this opportunity. I won't let you down. I'll be studious. Jing Chen was irked by Huo Yua's sincere expression. He squeezed out a smile and stood up before saying, all right, rest well then. I'll ask them to give you the best medicine for your treatment. Okay. Huo Yua nodded his head respectfully. Alas, he didn't suffer for nothing. Hee. After his wounds were taken care of, Huo Yua was sent to a ward in the infirmary to rest. He was given the best care due to Jing Chen's concern over his condition. Even his meals were much better, although they weren't as good as Shrek Academy's meals. He was well nourished. Although he didn't lose as much blood as the previous time, Huo Yua was still tired, as he had tried to make the act as real as possible. The stinging pain in his back was greatly relieved with the help of medicine, but he became groggy from it. At this point, the door opened slowly, and someone walked in. Huo Yua was very alert, and he unleashed his spiritual detection. However, he became relieved once again. It was KK. Yuao. KK came to his bedside and called to him. Huo Yua was very fatigued at this point. He didn't want to scam KK either, thus he decided to pretend that he was sleeping. KK was furious as she muttered to herself, the bastards from the royal stewards are too vicious. He's covered in so many bandage. He must be critically injured. His old injuries haven't even recovered. I really want to teach them a lesson. I want to castrate all of them and make them eunuchs. Huo Yua was amused, but he held in his laughter. KK was a very direct person, and wasn't scheming at all. She was a good lady. KK lowered her head and placed her face in front of Huo Yua to look at him. She blew a gust of air towards Huo Yua's face, and he almost couldn't hold it in anymore. KK lifted her hand to touch Huo Yua's head. She sighed. It's a little small. Otherwise, I'd be interested in you. As she spoke, she even pinched his face. Huo Yua's heart pumped faster. What did she mean when she said she might be interested in him? KK was in a momentary daze. Seeing that Huo Yua was not about to wake up, she silently left. Huo Yua heaved a sigh of relief. He was afraid she'd continue to wait. He was almost on the verge of sleeping, but was jolted awake by her words. The door opened again at this moment. Why was she back? Huo Yua was a little annoyed. However, he soon realized that something was amiss. The choking voice that he heard didn't belong to KK. A figure came to his side and caressed his hair. Huo Yua was annoyed as he thought, why do they like to touch my hair? How can they violate a man's hair so easily? Yuao, I'm sorry. I implicated you. If I didn't bring them to deal with you, you wouldn't have conflicted with Wang Xiaojie. You're injured again, even though you just recovered. It's my fault. Warm tears fell onto Huo Yua's face, but they were soon wiped off by a tender and smooth hand. Huo Yua's heart fluttered a little. His bed wasn't huge. There wasn't any excess space after he laid on the bed. However, Juzi still lay beside him on her side and placed her head on his shoulders. She sobbed gently. Huo Yua was even more afraid to move at this point. Juzi was a mystery to him. It was only now that he realized everything after he saw Juzi with the crown prince. While her background was pitiful, she had someone to back her. No wonder she had mentioned beating him in battle in the future. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.